Love that song.
I made that.
Like it.
That song gives me an erection. So
Yeah.
I mean, you got something there. You could bottle that shit.
What's funny is you know, if you go on YouTube, you can hi everybody, it's Sunday. You can go on, you can find royalty free intro music that people have just mixed together and put out there. And that is, you know, a small clip of about a 2-minute song. And I'm like, oh, I kind of like that. That's like a good crescendo into a lead-in type of a thing. So
You can also go on Fiverr and hire people for like not much money to create your own little music.
true. But that's where that comes from. And then the animation is that.
We need 3 of those when we do the Inkslayer intro. You see our heads just floating in the back and Inkslayer.
Yeah, I gotta get
yeah.
Death Metal Hero to do
Yeah.
something for us for our little deal. It'll be awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
And tell him we need the 2 versions we discuss. We need the proper and the funny one.
I'm gonna be like, can you do an intro for us, but can you do it in disco?
Dude. Oh.
What's
Okay.
up?
What's up, Passion?
What's up, man? Look like you just woke up, brother.
I did a little while ago.
What's up, man?
I always
What's up,
look like
Ink?
this,
What's
though.
up, son?
I always look like this. Like I just woke up.
What's
Always.
full people?
Passion.
What's going on?
What's up, man?
I did trim
You
up the
guys
beard, though.
fucking chilling? Yeah.
I'm sitting kicking it, man, here in the crib.
Yo.
With a diaper on or no? No diaper?
Oh, well, not today.
Well, you said you're kicking it in the crib, you know.
Kicking
Yeah, representing for the bros, dude. For the bros. Full
Geriatric, what's up? Anyway.
respect.
Oh my God, guys, it's Sunday.
Yeah.
Got a little thing coming up
Sunday,
on
Bloody
Tuesday,
Sunday.
huh?
It's already November, too, man. I can't believe it. Like, we're getting into
Yeah.
Christmas. Holy
Dude, my
shit.
birthday's
Crazy.
in like 2 weeks. I'll be 45.
Jesus, you're fucking old.
I know. Fuck me, dude.
What? We're the same age?
Yeah, man.
The fuck?
Yeah.
You don't look a day past 60.
Well,
Yeah.
that's good. Maybe it's the
Okay.
lack of gray in my beard. That's probably it.
How do you do that? Mine's all fucking gray. I hate
Yeah.
that. And I'm 3 years younger than you.
It's called dye.
Red hair dies dies. Red hair, dies. Turns gray at a much slower rate.
Yeah.
It doesn't show as much neither.
But
Like
then
I
once
have-
it does go gray, it turns fucking white. So I
Ma-
will probably have a white beard one day.
Mine turned silver. You know, it's the German in me. I have jet black hair, so it's kind of nice. But my grandfather, like he's full German. He has like a silver, man. It's like, you know, Paul Revere silver. It's beautiful head of hair on that dude.
My only dream in life is to have silver fucking pure white hair one day. That would be amazing.
Speaking of that, man, we lost Sean Connery.
Yep.
Dang, legend, dude. The Rock is one of my favorite movies of all time, dude.
It's Highlander.
Yeah, and Highlander.
That was
oh
rough.
yeah,
We're
I
watching
love them in
Highlanders
Time
now.
Bandits.
Yeah, that one's good too. Time Bandits.
Dude
2020
was
can eat all the
off.
dicks, literally.
I liked it.
Man.
I also
You know,
liked
dude
him a
was
lot.
90.
The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen was good.
No.
Oh, I know
Nice,
he
very
yeah, I mean, let's be fair. He was 90, yes, but I don't know. I wasn't
still a
ready
big
for
loss.
that one.
Still a big loss.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for that one.
I mean, he's definitely an acting legend and everything. I was actually just watching The Longest Day last night. He's in that too.
Oh
Something
yeah,
he did right
Mhm.
before he did James Bond.
Well, that's the thing. Like, do you know Sir Connery's politics?
Oh yes.
Yep.
He was
That it's okay-
very
it's
pro Scotsman.
Beyond that.
It's okay to slap a
Beyond
woman
that.
in the face when she does you wrong.
Beyond that,
well, that sounds about right. No, I'm just kidding.
beyond being pro,
No, when they won't shut up, he was saying.
Yeah.
but my point is,
I prefer the other way of saying it.
in his later years, he became a very private individual.
Yeah, but he also got that's when he started getting harassed on some of the interviews.
Mhm.
If you remember.
Yeah.
When they called him out on the slap thing, dude, I like the fact that he literally just turned around and politely called out the guy and called him technically a pussy in front of everybody. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, you don't fuck with the Connery dude. He would call you out, like you would try and put him on a corner. Dude, he would turn around and bite your head off politely with a nice little accent, and you would go, "Well, thank you, Mr. Connery."
Politely go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Pretty much.
There, see, passion. Bring up a good point. You bring up the best way to do a Sean Connery accent is to imagine you're eating chocolate when you speak.
Really?
I also think like the Jeopardy one because that's my favorite Sean Connery. Actually,
But pretend
Sean Connery.
You might have something weird with chocolate. I don't know. It doesn't.
no,
have
but pretend like you're chewing like a candy bar, like chocolate in your mouth.
Okay.
Just like pretend like you're chewing chocolate.
That's not close.
Like your mouth is full of chocolate. A caramel.
You can't die, McLeod. You know that.
You can't die.
God,
Oh my
that was
god, one of the most
movie.
iconic people ever.
So, do we understand that I'm probably gonna be binging all the fucking movies of his for the entire goddamn week?
Yeah.
What's that weird space one he did where he's like wearing like this red, like?
Oh
Really
yeah, Zordak.
Yeah, that movie's.
Sword.
Oh man, that movie's terrible.
I like the
Oh,
fact that they
man.
make fun of it too in Rick and Morty.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the year's going to end no matter what there, Samir. It's like whether the Democrats steal an election that Biden couldn't possibly win or the actual winner wins. We'll see. But
Yeah. I can't wait for 2020 to be over.
Don't worry,
2021
everything's
is
gonna be
me.
fine. Don't worry, everything's gonna be fine.
Well, it's funny, Ink Spots. We were talking earlier, and I said I saw a line in your state 90 plus miles long of
Oh, yeah.
Trump
96
flags?
miles, yeah.
Yeah.
they keep
We had
saying
doc from Scotsman,
they keep
so-
saying that this is, dude, Arizona is so far away from a swing state. We even watched as a Democrat, but this is what I'm getting at. We watched as a Democrat stole a seat here in Arizona, and they did not win that seat. There was no way she possibly won that seat. But they cheat, man. These guys are not below underhanded things. So, it's still America. But these guys got the game rigged. So
You got two narratives going on. You've got a guy who can't remember he's running for president, who says he's running for Senate, doesn't know who his wife is. I mean, literally all the memes. Yeah. He's a meme machine. Like, absolutely. When you, I can't look at him and go, that's a complete man right there.
He's a lol cow at this. He's a lol cow at this part.
Total lol cow.
Yeah.
And you've got he can barely fill all the circles that they painted on the ground for him at his rallies. And then you've got another guy who literally can take you apart and meme you to your face, who's pretty sharp. I mean, Trump says some stupid shit from time to time, but it's literally just because he got the facts wrong, not because he forgot the conversation he's having.
Yes.
A local is a guy who's on the internet who ends up trying to be all badass or being cool and everything, and he ends up just being made fun of all the time. It's once you make local status, you're pretty much done. You're done.
So
I mean,
popularity. It's kind of like a burnout type of guy. Got it.
Kind of.
Well, you milk the lol cow for memes.
You can do that.
It's
but some guys just get worse. Some guys just get worse.
Like Mundane Matt.
Mm-hmm.
He's a lol cow. You milk him for memes. You milk the lol cow for memes.
Yeah, that
type of thing. So.
Oh, I was wondering what the cow part meant, like the word it meant.
Yeah.
Like low calorie, low.
Like LOL.
Okay, got it.
But all I can say is Arizona's going for Trump. They're saying like there's not a fucking swing state.
Pennsylvania, like he had 57,000 people show up to one of his rallies. It's like bigger than Obama's rallies when he first ran.
Joe's getting 12 people. He had a rally where he had 12 people.
Can I ask you guys one thing? Is this a color show or a politics show?
It's a politics show till Tuesday.
Okay.
Colors, the colors of politics.
So that's what I was gonna say. Colors of politics.
I'm in political mode till Trump wins, man.
I don't know. I'm an inker, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you're an inker now.
Oh, we're on the wrong show.
No, we're gonna talk about glass
Mm,
and
yeah,
caustics. And
that's right.
liquids and
So
love.
What's today's?
And blue metal, right? Ink.
glass and caustic.
See, if you're trying to paint for Sim, this is what he's going to tell you. My guy's arm is metal, but it's not metal. It's more like skin. It glows, but it's not glowing. It's like skin, but still it's metal.
It's blue, but not that blue.
It's alive, but it's dead.
You know,
So it's like, yeah, paint that.
It's not yin, it's yang. Sort of.
We had so much fucking fun.
And at the end, what I
Dude,
got out of the whole
it's not
thing
blue,
is,
it's more teal. It goes,
No.
teal is blue. I'm like, no. teal
after
is
all
on the
his
green.
directions, I go, so yeah, it's blue metal. Gotcha. Okay.
Got it. Like we explain it, and I give him the explanation behind the entire arm, dude, and he just goes, "Okay, so it's blue, got it." And I'm like,
Thank
All right.
goodness Inkspot speaks retard.
Let's start the show, goddammit. Okay, so Ink Spots, welcome, sir. How was your week? What did you do?
Oh, I did some plumbing and dealt with a bullshit boss. That listen, I'm not gonna just straight out and say I hope that he falls into a meat grinder feet first, so it takes longer for him to die. But maybe I'm just implying that would be great. So yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All right, Sim.
"Yes, hey, what's up?"
How was your week? What did you do this week? Did anything interesting?
Nothing interesting, you know. Just putting together and planning for the Ink Slayer stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Ink Slayer magazine, and I've been
Mhm,
working on Tales from the Adverse too, and getting Inkspot to paint that cover that's so fucking beautiful.
Mm.
There's too much teal in it.
No, it's
Not
blue.
enough teal.
That arm doesn't look
Yeah, but that's the
metallic at
thing.
all.
It's like Inkspot doesn't know what teal is. He just calls it blue.
Teal is a shade of blue, dude.
Teal is like bleen. It's like blue green.
Yeah, it's blue green. Yeah,
It's
It's
kind of
Fucking ugly.
it's the
an
mix of my
ugly
two
color.
favorite colors. It's my
It's
favorite color,
what the
motherfucker.
color of the ocean is.
That's what it is. It's the azure green. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna take like I said, that's an 80-hour painting, so it's taking me, and I got to work on it, in just chunks. So
And
yeah.
if you want a little print of it, you go back to Tales from the Adverse and get it to 10K, and I'll be giving you a print of it because it's that amazing.
It'll be
Nice.
cool.
Passion for drawing.
Yes.
How was your week? What'd you do? Anything interesting? Anything cool?
Too much coloring. That's why I came on a show about coloring.
I thought you retired from coloring.
I'm very close to retirement. I'm like Tubbs close to retirement. I'm like I'm really close. I'll probably get shot right at the end.
I heard you're gonna be retiring as soon as you're done coloring that piece for the Ace I'm doing. Is that right?
Nah, well, I'm not. I'll do some stuff. I'll be like Michael Jordan, come out and do some gambling, then go play some basketball, do some gambling for basketball. But I'll come back every once in a while and do. I'll probably only do pieces, but Doom Fate Volume 2 is I'm not coloring it. I thought it, honestly, I thought it'd be way quicker. This is just anybody. This is colorist talk now. I thought it'd be way quicker at doing an actual book because I'm used to doing just pieces and stuff. And I've done comic book coloring before, but that was like 10 years ago. Now I just don't have patience for it. And I think when you couple it with your drawing and your inking and your coloring, it's a monumental task because every page is a full piece in my mind. It's like you're painting that piece right now, ink. And like, just imagine if you were penciling, inking, and painting it, and you were doing that for 60 pages.
Which piece? This piece?
Yeah.
Whoa. Michael,
That's
Joe's
gotta
blowing
be
up the screen.
Beacon. What's up,
Yeah.
Beacon?
The fans
They're
got
like,
excited
"That's
as well.
Gotta be Beacon.
Yeah, my fan going crazy again.
It was doing okay before. It was just barely hearing
Yeah.
it. But then when we saw the thing, it went like, oh shit.
Like, I'm not doing that level of detail. I'm not insane like ink spots, but just color. The flatting process makes you want to eat a shotgun.
Yep.
God, it takes so long to do
Mhm.
something
Yeah.
I think would be so
And-
simple.
Like passion. There are flatters in our chat right now.
Yep.
There are,
Uh-huh.
yeah, and I'm almost done with the book, so it's kind of late now. But yeah, I know. I wanted to do it and I wanted to save money, but then I sat down and did it. I'm like, you know what? This book would have been done 2 months ago
Yep.
Yeah.
if I had just
Hired
had someone doing it. Again, it goes to. I always talk about energy when you're doing art. You start with a bunch of energy, you come up with a great idea, and you try to keep that energy going throughout the whole
Yep.
entire piece or whatever
Mhm.
you're doing, project, whatever. And coloring for me just saps my will to live.
And
I
don't
love
be
it.
afraid to take breaks sometimes to gain that energy back. Because sometimes you might.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like
like-
beating a dead horse, right?
I'm literally like sorting magic cards right now just because I need a break. But
I found that playing a few hours of Minecraft does wonders.
Yep.
mm,
Like me on hooking for 2 days, spending time with the kids, and
yeah, but you still have deadlines and you still got to get
Yep.
stuff
Yeah.
done. But I think my problem was putting it on top of everything else that I'm doing because I still have to finish laying out the book, then get it printed, then I got to ship it. It's just an extra step that I think there's so many talented colorists now. Like, when I started doing Fate, there wasn't like ink spots really wasn't around, and Mike Beacon wasn't really around, or there wasn't a whole lot of colorists in a year ago.
nope.
Now we got a whole bunch of cool flatters and colorists and all kinds of people.
Letterers was scarce too. Now we're starting
Yeah.
to get some.
Even a lot of artists that are just learning to color their own stuff now. And I've seen a lot of guys that like a couple years ago were just drawing their stuff that are like you, Passion. They're drawing, and now they're coloring their own stuff. They've learned how to do it, and they're not bad. They're pretty good at it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that, like, I simplified the coloring process and my art and everything so I could get the project done. And that's, to me, like, I'm pretty happy with all the colors. Don't get me wrong, but I wanted to do more. And it's just I'm running out of time. It can't take forever. I don't have forever.
Yeah.
So I feel
I
like
do.
I'm taking shortcuts.
Just as an aside, can I just say, Sim, the balance and distribution of energy on Nat on this shot is fucking incredible, dude. Like, he shifted his ass in his saddle to where he could sit up taller and then aim slightly down. The way he's gripping the handlebar, I feel him sitting in that seat. Like, you nailed that shit.
But thanks. And it's also the fact if you zoom out a bit, it's also to give you the illusion that he was on the side, like he sliced open that guy with the blades in front of the bike. So it's also to give you that, like riding a horse, he was on the side of it. Like, he actually, he comes in and he sliced the guy open with the blades in front of the ship.
The bike. This energy distribution, the balance, where the weights are at, I can feel him on that thing. Even with the colors on top of it,
I think
this
ink
piece
spots fix this piece a lot.
Oh, wow. What I will say is Sam and I's style match very well together. Like, my painting style and his art just go together. So.
Yeah. I colored some of Sim's stuff, and I think I did a very good job on it too. His stuff's very fun to color over.
That's
like
the bloody, the bloody
ace.
head.
Dude,
with
no,
the
the
water below him. There's a sword.
Yeah, that's Armis.
Like that.
Yeah, he did that one. It's a trading card for Doom Fate. And then we also did the first time Sim and I ever met and really got to know each other was on Ace's. He did a picture of Ace's character, and I colored it. So
that was one of the first.
collabed.
And it was one of the first times that I saw somebody color my shirt, and I went like, "Oh crap!" I'm like, yeah,
Nice.
somebody can color my shit good. That makes that, yeah. Even my bro went like, dude, that guy can color your shit. I'm like, I know.
Yeah. That's what I like to do, but oh
I'm like,
boy,
Too
flatting.
bad. I'm like, too bad. He's just too much of a pain in the ass.
See, and the thing is, I find flatting. I mean, it's
Joking. I'm
tedious.
joking, people. I love
It's
fucking
tedious
flatting.
and it takes a long time, but it's so like relaxing,
No,
I don't find it that at all.
dude.
no, I don't
look,
find that at all
have-
either.
I do it on my iPad. I can
It's
sit
like
there in front of the
waterboarding.
TV and just be like,
Waterboarding.
Waterboarding while someone's scratching their nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah.
"Ah,
I
man,
like to take
just-
I like to take a break from flattering by getting myself waterboarded. You know, it's
Mhm.
a relaxing change of pace there.
Whatever company comes out with a program that does flatting super easy, like almost by a click, I mean, I will personally,
I-
probably suck off everybody who worked on
Yeah.
that program.
I think Beacon will tell you that flatting in Krita is pretty easy.
It
Yeah,
is.
That's what he thinks. Whatever. I want to
It
say
still sucks.
And flatting
sorry.
in clip is also very easy.
I want to say
Not as
sorry
easy,
to
Krita.
Samir right now because Samir just got the latest batch of cash grab pages, and it's all crowd scenes. Like,
Oh god.
oh my
Shout out
God.
to Samir, one of our Comicscape flatters. What's up, man?
Hail
Oh,
Samir.
there's a lot of fucking flatting to do.
As the colorist on Royal Rumble, I feel your pain, Samir.
Yeah, Sim likes to draw huge crowds. And why are all these people in here? This makes no sense. That's just he's going to make a book called Crowd.
And have them fight.
Have them fight and just
Everybody's covered in blood.
and every person he knows is in it.
I'm gonna hate myself when Seven Legions gets to the point where there's medieval style battles. I'm gonna really hate myself then.
Mm-hmm. That's
Wait
why,
till-
that's why
wait
my
till-
next book's gonna be all black and white, guys.
Wait till we get that. There's a scene where a Nat goes into a big like type of like space center where it's like a bar where a neutral set place, and I'm planning to draw you guys in there.
So
Including the
I'm even
characters.
thinking about, how I did this? That leg looks pretty damn good, even though the line work's still there.
Mhm.
So I may do some coloring. There's a lot of styles you can do, but this is like usually my base painting, and so I'm gonna start using that. I
You're
like
gonna
how
be
it
seeing-
kind of looks there.
You'll be seeing more of that. We've been talking about experimenting.
Yeah, where it's kind of painted, but we can still, do it pretty fast compared to this crap. Because 90% of the time for me is getting rid of the line work. I got to paint the line work out and then make all the volumes look perfect.
Is this
Well,
going to
this
be
guy-
cover for like Nat 10?
No, that's not the. That's still the
No, this will actually be done fairly quickly here. Most of the work was all with her and with the Nat character. The rest of the characters are going to be a bit rougher, because they're not the focus. So, yeah, I'll be able to zoom through it a lot faster now. So, probably by the end of next week, this will be done. So, yeah, and then
And
You
and then he's
prefer
got a
painting-
whole bunch more crap for me to.
I'll get
Like-
you. I'll have you do some of my pencils someday, where you'll get to do some re-art. So
Oh, I love your style. I love Passion for Drawing's work.
yeah, I'll get. I got some things actually I would really like you to try. So
Yeah,
I
awesome.
someday I go
Hey.
I'll throw something towards your way.
What I said about this piece last night on the pimp stream in the chat, I feel like it needs to be restated. This looks like a Renaissance painting, but with way less micro penis.
I'm telling you guys, Inkslayer is gonna be huge.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Micro penis huge.
micro penis,
Macro.
PP small
Mac.
SMOL.
macro penis.
All right. Well, Michael Beacon, you joined the stream. How was your week? Did you do anything cool now that you're back from the Panhandle or wherever you were in the Florida?
Yeah, it's just been getting back into, getting coloring done full steam. Just coloring Royal Rumble.
Sending me a message every day. Fuck your Astro belts.
Yeah,
Fuck your crowds. No.
Oh man,
yeah.
that's cool. That's cool. Well, let's address the chat. Let's see. We've got Samir. We've got Jim Cox. We got Edwin the Ace. We've got and Matthew Fowler
From Retro Graphics Books, man. What's
yeah,
up,
man.
dudes?
Welcome. Well, today's episode is going to be well, it's one you're not going to encounter a lot in coloring, but when you do, you have if you do it right, you have a real opportunity to make some stuff look really cool, and you can bring some realism to comic art with this technique. It's caustics, and caustic light is essentially what it is, and what caustic light is basically when light projected from a light source passes through a translucent object, it gets refracted and then projected, right? And what the light does, how it bends and how it spreads is what we're talking about. And so that could be
sorry, how it bends and spreads.
how it bends over and grabs and reveals its self to you.
I love when you talk like
Bend over and spread them.
Bend over and caustic me. I feel like I'm being accosted right now.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So the light projection through through an object, how it projects and how it bends and splits, not necessarily into the color spectrum, but how it shows up on the surfaces that the light is hitting after it passes through an object in this bend. That's what caustics are. So ink spots.
Yeah, man.
Have you thought about this at all?
Yeah,
Have you
I
thought
can
about
do
caustics?
this. I can say that this is one of the more difficult things for me, even because in digital painting, it's very important to get it right. And there's a lot of steps to make it look right. But then there's also a couple of really easy tricks where you can fake it. So, yep.
Okay. Oh, so here we go. We got there we go.
Okay, so one of the things with glass and transparent things and water is you always need a pull reference if you're trying to go realistic, because even though there's some rules to how everything's supposed to work, you're going to find pictures where it does not work the way it's supposed to. And it's going to be completely different than what you learned. But a good fast rule is if the light direction is coming, like on this object here, on this piece of, on this orb, if the light is coming this way, your darks and your lights are going to be flipped. So usually if you had an orb and the sun was shining on it and it was not a transparent material, you would get this part of it lit up, and this part would be darker. When you're using glass, just flip it the opposite way, because the light is actually passing through the object and lighting up the back end of the object instead. So a lot of times if you look at glass orbs and things, the direction of the light, you're going to see the top where you would expect it to be light is going to be almost black sometimes, or it's going to be the color of the background. So that I went through a lot of steps to make that orb, and it's not even close to being what I would consider finished. That'd be like a rough, but yeah, I mean, you can some of the things you need to look for. So you got the opposite, the darks and lights are flipped opposite. You're going to have a real sharp highlight in the direction of the light. That's where the light source is reflecting into the top of the object. The light is going through it, and then the bottom or the opposite direction is lit up because the light is coming out there. Also, if you look at a glass object, it's kind of similar to metal, where you're going to see a little bit of a dark outline all the way around it. How do I explain that? I don't know how to explain it. Anyway.
I was going to explain that when I talk.
It's blue.
Yeah, you can explain it. I used to know it, but my brain, only holds so much information. Now, with glass and caustic stuff, my brain just kind of stores how it should look instead of why on this subject. So, again, because I don't paint glass that much, So unless it's like sunglasses and stuff, and then it's the same thing. You fake it. You kind of
Or,
fake it.
robot arms.
Glass robot arms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing with
It's not a
glass
robot arm,
is
I
it's
keep telling
gonna.
you.
It depends. You want to get the background showing through. So the background color showing through the object is going to be super important. And also it's good if you're trying to get across that something is glass to have an object behind it. So I have this line, and because it's going through the glass is deforming it because it's like a lens. So what you're seeing inside the glass is going to be a bit deformed and not going straight. That's pretty much all I got. I'm not a huge, like I said, my brain doesn't hold all this information about glass. I just kind of know how it should look. Right here, I did a really quick. The bottom one is something I did super quick, and all I did was use a dark color on the top. I used white, and then I used the background color to paint in the middle to kind of show that it's showing the background. And all this was done on one layer. It wasn't multiple layers or multiple time taking on anything. So,
and also, if you take into consideration too, that's kind of how your eye works. If you study a little bit of how the lens in your eye works, the image that you see in front of you comes into your eye and inverts itself on the back of your eye, and then your brain takes the information and flips it back right side. Yeah. And if you have a camera lens, like old school cameras, they used to invert the picture. And that's just the way lenses work. So that's why your light goes light to dark, up and down like that. Yeah. Part of the reason why.
Part of the, yeah. But whatever that guy said, I'm down with it. And so basically, you can just cheat it by flipping the light source. So you can make something look pretty darn convincing just by having the light and the dark flipped. You put your little highlight, have the light coming out the bottom. You're going to get that impression of glass fairly easy. I mean, that's why I didn't. Some things I have to super absorb, but if there's a trick to it, I don't really need to. I just know. Okay, flip the light, highlight on the dark side, light travels through the object. Anything behind it gets distorted a little bit. Boom, you got glass. One thing I will say about liquid is if something is full of liquid. So let me do another quick. So if you got a glass, all full of liquids. A lot of times, it's like the same concept. Like if you're looking at liquid in a glass, you're going to have that darkening effect, but usually only around the edges. You're going to get kind of like the highlight is like the middle here. And another thing, I've seen a lot of people do this. Let me show you. Like where there's liquid in a glass and they put light here and light here, like there's a separation. That's not how liquid works. The liquid is actually going to go all the way to the edge. So this here. The liquid will go all the way to the edge of the glass. And sorry, I was wondering why my brush wasn't working. It was because it was on darken mode for some reason. I never even put it on darken mode. So you're going to have the light. It's going to come down. It's going to be kind of there. Same thing. It's going to travel through, and you're going to be more lit at the bottom of the liquid. And you can have your little bubbles or whatever in there. And then you're going to be able to see through. Anything behind it is going to get deformed. So if you had a straight line, that's going to deform. The one weird thing on liquid is it will also actually flip your image backwards. So say if there was a window here, and then you had some glass here, this middle part right here, it would be flipped. It would flip both ways and deform. And so you're looking at kind of, when you're looking through, you're actually looking at the opposite. I don't know why it does that, but that's something we learned, in painting classes. Anything behind liquid will flip horizontally and vertically. So it'll and then it'd be super distorted. And that's a weird thing with liquid too. So also, if the liquid is deep enough, what happens is the red and the blue light will separate. So sometimes if you find a picture, like they have like a lot of pictures of dolphins deep in the ocean and the water's really clear and the light can kind of get down where there are, you'll have the weird thing where like you'll have the outline of something. Like say you have like an outline of a fish. Well, what'll happen is you'll have a weird thing where you'll see like kind of on the edges of it, you'll have a blue, a red and a blue outline on the object, and that's because the light rays are going through that water and the water is splitting the blue and the red rays up, and so you'll have some weird caustics, red and white caustics, even in just the water ripples and stuff.
The technical term for that's called chromatic aberration.
There you go. See, Scotsman knows this stuff.
It happens in photography as well. Whenever you let's say you use a wide angle lens on an object, when you get that exposure, bring it into the camera raw import plugin, you can see the red and the blue, or cyan and magenta or whatever. Those channels split slightly, and that usually on the edges of the object. Mm-hmm. And you can use the raw plugin to remove chromatic aberration, and it will bend those channels back together. But that's part of it's an artifact from the lens itself.
Okay. Sounds good, man. I like it. Sometimes you're gonna get so say you had a shadow here, and this is something cool that's cool sometimes. So what you'll get also is this light kind of coming out, and it's gonna make some cool light in the bottom of your shadow too. And that's a cool little thing to add, because it's like a magnifying glass. It's coming down, going through, and it's magnifying it into a little pinch and then spreading out in your shadow area. And so that's one way you'll get, like if something's shining through glass, you'll get some cool like colored distortion in your shadows.
Funny thing, that's the actual caustic light we're talking about. That right there that you're drawing.
Yep.
The projection of the light through the object onto another object surface.
He's basically saying everything you talked about with the glass was not what we're talking about.
No, not at all. Everything before it's exactly the process of what's happening to the light, but the caustic light itself is what's being projected through what you're demoing right here.
Yeah.
Okay. They're all part of the same process. So it's important to understand the first before you get to the second. So
yeah, for me, I think this was something I didn't dive into as deeply. I just go, oh, there's a cheat to this, so I'm just gonna do the cheat. That works. So
and that's the most important thing is how do you emulate what you're seeing? You know what I mean? How do you emulate it? That's what we're talking about. As colorists, we're trying to synthesize what we see in the real world, cartoonize it, and make it feel in line with our style, but project what we're trying to say. What is the light doing? And that's
let me say one more thing about water, and that's the Fresnel effect.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get a new layer here. Edit.
Fresnel, man.
And so say you have a shoreline here, and then this is water, and then you have your mountains or whatever back here, and this is all water, blah, like trees and crap. All right, so basically all you need to know about the Fresnel effect is the farther away you are, the less transparent the liquid is, and the more reflective the liquid is. And as you get closer, that's why when you look straight down in the water, when you're right on the bank, you're going to be able to see like the rocks and everything in the bottom. And the further out you get, you start to get the reflection of the mountains and the trees and everything in the water. And the closer you get to you, the more transparent the water gets, and you're able to see things down in there. So as you look out across the lake, you're going to see the mountains and the skies reflected into the lake. And if you look straight down, you're going to be able to see right into the water, see the rocks and everything down in there. So the farther away something is, the darker it is, and the more of a reflection you're going to get from the sky, the mountains, everything in the environment. That's all you need to know.
Nice.
Yep.
Now, do you think that is also because at your perspective to the plane, like water being a flat plane?
Yeah, it's
the
also
more perpendicular you look at it, the more you
yeah,
can see
it's
through it.
more complicated than when I said. Like if you read the whole thing about the Fresnel effect, it's like if you have to be at a certain angle to like you said, to the plane. But it's easier for me to remember. Just like the farther away it is, the darker and more reflective it is of the environment, and that that's just the easier tip for me to remember. So, yep.
Yeah, you've distilled it down pretty, like farther, we're more reflective, closer, more translucent.
Yeah.
Good rules to live by.
Yeah, just give us the tip.
Yeah.
Just give us the tip.
Never forget the tip.
Just put the tip in.
And that's pretty much about all I know about liquids, because like I said, I haven't deep dived on that like I have other sorts of materials. So yeah, that's all I know, Scotsman. That's all.
Brilliant.
I know.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Good. That's good.
Our boy's wicked smart. Well, that's cool.
Massive tip.
Yeah, massive tip. Big pee
Massive tip on
big pee tips. Sim, do you have anything to add on the caustic or glass or light passing through liquid, anything like that?
Not really, no.
No? Okay.
No, I have to pass on that one. I'm actually just sitting down and enjoying the show.
You're super quiet, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I'm listening.
No, I mean like right now.
Yeah,
you're talking.
You're talking.
Sounds like your mic's pointed upward and not.
Is that
down
better?
Here. Yes. Okay.
Hello.
Passion, you have anything to add on caustic light or liquid or glass or anything like that?
I'd like to expand on what Ink said, because that was pretty brilliant. I'd like to talk about an artist, because it came up today in Twitter
Ooh.
today, and I'd like to talk about an artist who I consider one of the masters of caustic lighting. And he was doing a wig where his name is Robert McGinnis, and it kind of ties into James Bond. He used to do the old James Bond posters. Okay. Let me.
You have any sample screens you want to share?
Yeah. Give me just a moment.
Okay. That's cool.
So,
Yeah.
Just let me know when you're good to share.
yeah, I'm good. Go ahead.
Okay. God damn, that's so good.
All right. If you notice here, this one in the upper right-hand corner, see how he's got the smoke? The guy's smoking?
Yeah.
That's an example of caustic lighting. You can see the light come through the smoke and go onto the woman's legs and everything like that. That's such a masterful way of doing it. You don't necessarily have to always do it with glass. You know, it could be done in different ways, with smoke or with reflective light or mirrors, or it's not the only way of doing it. And he was quite the master at it. I'm going to try not to get any nudity on here.
Pause real quick. Got to address Mr. Phil Diaz in the chat. Yes, I know there's a chat. You got here late, sir. I've addressed the chat. Welcome. Appreciate you.
But something like this painting too, it's not really caustic lighting per se, but you can use washouts of lighting too to create a unique negative space. And caustic lighting can be used for that. So let's say the subject is in a room where it's bathed in light. You know, there's light coming through the thing. Caustic lighting can be used to change the whole background and mood of a piece, just by doing that. Simple, putting more lighter colors, refracting the light, everything like what Ink Spot said. When you're thinking about a piece that way, this one here, the girl in the bathtub, you got the light coming out through here in the in the window. But if you notice, everything in the room is dark around her and around the light. That's the secret of caustic lighting. And I think that's what our Ink Spots was trying to get to, was the secret to it to make it good is the color around it.
Yeah, the background makes a huge difference.
Correct. You want the backgrounds or the outside color so that it has to be darker than that light, because without darkness you can't have light, and the more intense it is, the more of a caustic effect you're going to get with the light.
Can I just say I would hate to bathe in that tub? That would be fucking terrible.
If she was in there, I would fit somehow.
So like
Somehow.
another master of this, and everybody's probably seen this drawing, the one with it's MC Fleischer, Escher, I mean, and he did the famous one of himself in the drawing, him inside the crystal ball or the metallic ball, and that's, if you notice in this drawing, that's what he did. To get the reflective part and reflect all that light in his hand and everything, the background goes from dark to light, but it's never too dark. So as his hand, you see around his hand is very, very pale, but he darkened down by the hand, so the hand sticks out more, and he goes up. It's called light and shadow, values, and you need that for caustic lighting. You have to have a grasp on that basic effect to be able to pull off caustic lighting.
And
Ink Spots is doing.
It's also the entire principle of cross-hatching techniques, like what's his name again?
Crosshatch.
Frankenstein.
Right, Wrightson? Bernie Wrightson?
Bernie Wrightson used to do
Right.
a lot of caustic.
Negative.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bernie Wrightson's another great example if you're just talking black and white.
Yeah.
McGinnis was a master, and it came up today, so I wanted to pull him out. Plus, he did a lot of great, like,
James
he did
Bond posters.
he did, this is a man with the gold
Composition.
gun.
Freaking amazing.
So good, dude.
Yeah, he would, he did this.
We need to bring back those type of.
This is Dr. No. He did, like, look at this. I have his art book. I suggest everybody, like, look at the caustic lighting on this metallic.
Did he do all this in gouache too?
He did oils, he did gouache, he did watercolor, he did everything. He did the famous Breakfast at Tiffany's poster. The guy is, I suggest go pick up his art book. It is fantastic. It's one of the best art books I've ever owned.
And he does something that I need to learn how to do. He simplifies his color scheme down so much. He has his dark, his light side, but it implies so much more than he actually puts into it. Guy was amazing.
He did painting of did like the official painting of Lady Diana. He did stuff like this. He did all this stuff in the 50s and 60s, all these magazine pulp covers. And he just if the idea you have of women in the 60s,
Yeah.
he's the one who idealized it. He was the guy, like, with the hair and the outfits and everything.
Even the gesture on that figure, holy shit, dude.
Isn't that
It's from a model.
Yeah, look at
It's
the
a
ass
model
on that
art.
figure.
They weren't allowed to draw ass cracks. He had to always, like, a lot of times, like this right here too. This is stuff he was doing in the 20s and the 30s. And this is what I'm talking about with caustic lighting. Like, there's no background on this, but a light's hitting her, causing this kind of gradient on her. So you can use it as a lighting technique too. And he was so good. Like, he did this one too, man. Look at that. That's so awesome. He's a fantastic artist. Pick up his book. You can get it for like $25 on Amazon. It's a big, thick book too. It's huge, beautiful pages, especially with James Bond kind of coming back as a thing now. He's definitely a guy like this right here, man. Look at this. It's fantastic. He could draw women, man. He could paint them.
Yeah, good.
Beautifully. He was,
No question there.
he did just this stuff, and some of this is acrylic. He did acrylics. He did everything. So, and then his later years, he got into Western painting, which is fantastic too.
So click on the lady laying on the water right there.
Yeah.
He's got the reflection on there and stuff.
Yeah.
Because you're
She's a
standing
mermaid.
way,
Oh, that's
way
Splash, huh?
yeah.
Yeah,
you're
it's a
standing-
mermaid. Yeah.
You're standing way far away, and since that's farther away, you're getting the whole reflection of her in the water.
That was one of the covers for Splash the movie, right?
I don't know.
Because when she's outside, she has her legs, and when she was inside, she had the thing. I remember that was part of the cover for the movie Splash.
But he started like towards his later years. He started to do simpler things like this. This painting's awesome. Look at this. Look at again caustic lighting on the guy's jacket. How the white will absorb the light off and then the reflections on the gong and everything just merges in the gold and everything of the gong. Of the gong kind of merges with the gold parts reflective on his jacket. It's masterful. It's just really great. And his Western stuff, you look at just the way he did rocks and landscapes and stuff. It's just, and he was doing this stuff in the 20s and the 30s. So
Man,
that's my
they
addition. That's
they
my
just don't make masters like that no more. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's incredible. Well, Ink Spots is close.
And that's I always suggest that to people too. Like, don't just listen to us, dickheads. Go look at older artists who mastered this stuff way before we were even alive, and grab their art books. Most of them all do, like McGinnis and other guys, and just look. Frazetta has great books too. Yeah,
some brilliant stuff,
and all his comics. I mean, just look at his comic books. But grab those guys' books and really study them. You could even not copy them, but try to see if you can replicate painting them, and see if you can just replicate their style. Because unfortunately, a lot of these old guys, YouTube didn't exist, so you didn't know how they did it. You got to sit here and try to figure it out. And he was a master. I loved his work. I love his work. There's a couple pictures I'd love to show that I just.
It's
one
one
of
of
them
the things.
it's nudity, but
YouTube, not YouTube friendly.
It's one of the
well,
things
it's
that I
art.
really
We're
like
talking about art. So.
about the piece that Inkspot is doing is that he was trying to reproduce like the Frazetta look, and I think he's pulling it off pretty goddamn.
For sure.
Yeah, Frazetta was a different style, I would say, but
Frazetta had a lot of subtle lighting where his like the values and the darker values, you would see a hint of reflected light on skin surfaces, but like the main part of the characters, like the breast and like part of the profile, that would be your brightest point. So you would get the impression of the rest of the figure, and you would get a little bit of reflected light, but the parts that were in focus were so expressive. There was so much to them.
He put like deep dark shadows too, but also one of his like staples was putting all the. If you look at his paintings, he's got purples in the shadow colors. There's purples, greens, yellows. I mean, he just has like the rainbow in his shadow colors, and that's what his work just stands out so much because of that. He's used to learn to use like spot color like all over his image and reflected light, environment colors, just all in his shadows. And
Frazetta didn't start out as a painter, really. I mean, he did a lot of drawing and inking and stuff.
He was a sketch artist.
Oh, his ink drawings are fucking amazing.
So he knew he had a real good grasp of light and shadow before he started really jumping into hardcore painting, and I think that's the base thing you need to know before you get into caustic lighting. If you don't have a grasp on light and shadow, you're gonna probably fail every time when you're trying to do it. So don't if you're listening to us, this is kind of more of an advanced thing, the caustic lighting. But make sure
this is 11 episodes into the coloring series. So that's why why this is here.
Yeah, we're going into materials and stuff now, but the beginning is where you want to start, like episode 1.
No, but something Inkspot said a while ago, and you've said this numerous times, and I think you said it like shortly after I met you, when we were talking about color a long time ago. You said, I like to take a walk around the color wheel, and that got in there, and I never forget that. That's a, when I paint, I like to take a walk around the color wheel.
Yeah.
Think of it that way. Approach how you're going to use color in that respect. I think that's a brilliant statement.
I mean, that's what InkSpots does. His tips always get right in there. So
He puts the tip right in.
And I don't need to
Right.
get any more than that in because I'm done by that point anyway.
I'm like a caulking gun. You know what I mean? I'm like surface treatment.
a little bit of dribble come out first, and then
It doesn't even have to be the right area that you're supposed to enter. I could miss
Right.
and I'm still done.
Oh my god. Beacon, do you have anything to add on the caustic lighting front?
I can show an example of like probably like the one time I've really used it.
Okay.
Okay, so it's on the. There we go.
All right. Oh, I see. So you got something to share too, Sim. All right, we'll go with Beacon here.
All right.
On the cockpit there.
Yep.
I'm going to
Yeah, so-
pull up a page I have to a cash grab, but you can show that after Beacon where I actually had to use it in a comic book actual setting. So
Yeah. Yeah. So this pinup of this pretty angel lady, we're going to focus on the cockpit. So yeah, it's just like one thing I like to do when I do things with glass is I pretty much just do two separate layers of lighting and shadow, one on the interior stuff and one on the exterior stuff. Like let's see, where's that layer? Yeah, I got the shading in the cockpit, highlights in the cockpit. On the outside, I got shading on everything else. Highlights, turn those off and on. And of course, the specular lighting as luminosity layer.
yeah, you see what he did there? He's got the dark, and then he has this highlight in the dark area, and then the lights coming out from below in the cockpit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
Same.
get the Fresnel effect on a cockpit as well. You can get the reflection of like the clouds on the edge of the cockpit, and then see the person inside.
That's
Yeah.
why it's dark, because of the Fresnel effect.
always edge your cockpit.
Always
Dark.
gives you a cockpit. Your cockpit.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much all I can think to say about it. Just get a little bit of the color of the glass in this there. A little bit more like the direct light color in the middle band. Yeah.
See, why go to fucking art school when you got all these amazing guys on here? Do it correctly.
Yeah. I'm not too big on the vocabulary of all this, but yeah, that's basically how I do it.
It's okay. You don't have to be.
Yeah.
That looks good, man.
Well, thanks.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
All right, so let's see. We got Sim.
This is
Who
one
we
of
got
my
here?
favorites. Yeah. Juan Jimenez. Right?
Mm.
He's one of my favorite artists, and when you're talking about caustic and reflection, I think he's one of the masters as well. Like he has so many styles. Like this is one of his covers that he did. Look at all the metal and how that little brazier type of thing just stands out.
What's the name of this artist again?
Juan Jimenez.
Juan Ramirez.
Jimenez, like Jimenez.
Jimenez. Okay.
Yeah, Jimenez. And here's one of his piece, and he also did something like this. If you look at it, all the lighting and the color shifts. Like you got the green and this in the metal in the back. He played a lot with all those little principles. And the more that he went, the more that he got crazier. He had a, like Mobius, he had a more like fantasy style. But look at this. Then
I'll
just
give
three tones
him-
of colors.
I'll give him the John Malin. He's all right.
Yeah.
Look at this.
No, he's great.
You know that some parts of it are metallic, and then you notice the organic. You see the translucency to the some pieces, but he also did this. He actually did, classical
Did he
painting
do
style.
Metabarons? Was he Metabarons?
Yes, he's the guy from Metabaron.
Oh Jesus! All right, delete the stream.
But he's one of my all-time favorite painters, other than Rosetta.
No.
Yes, he is.
Oh wow!
Sorry, Passion.
I didn't know that. No, he's good, man. Yeah, he had a good grasp of the metallics and like the reflection of the sky and the eyes there. Yeah, it's really cool.
Like he mesmerizes me. Like every time I look at his color, and he pulled that thing that you were showing, like with a white background, and light the piece so well that you knew exactly where the light was.
Right.
Like I really like that. This is one of my favorite covers of his. It was a mix of both his styles. You can feel the hair in there. Oh, look at this. And this is all oil paint with watercolors. He was mostly using watercolors, and then doing little finishes with oil. Well, yeah, that's
brilliant.
Now,
That's another one of his pieces.
Yeah, I didn't see him like render any water or caustics, but yeah, it's great.
Hey, you were talking about the ambient light and how using shadows.
That's like that's like jerking someone off and then slapping the head of their dick really hard. Like, yeah, that's great. Bah!
Poor Sil.
Oh God,
it's Metabarons week.
This is how you know when you're really good friends with people, when you control the fuck out of them. I love you, bastards. Anyway, so you want to share the screen, Ink Spots?
Yeah, I was gonna show a couple examples where I actually used it in comic books.
Okay.
So,
In real comics. Okay, go ahead.
yeah, so right here he's
Damn.
got the spit in his mouth. And so, I used it there. Yeah, on the water, the spit droplets coming out of his mouth. Same thing, dark and light going through. Then I used it on these bottles right here. On this bottle. Okay, if you're in my contest looking for all the hidden stuff, right here we got a bottle of Smiller Light.
Oh, for fuck's sake, that's great.
We got a little wolf's milk in his hand back there. So there's two things.
Don't give
on
it
the
all
list.
away.
Oh, I'm not giving close to any. Anyway, we have the same thing. The caustics. You can see the liquid in the bottle, the light coming out, a little bit of light on the floor plane here that's going through the bottle. Dark on top, light on the bottom. So same thing.
Her
with that
ass
blue
is giving
bottle.
off a word sound that says clap, clap.
Clap, 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 clap.
All right.
And you'll also get the clap. So yeah, you can. You do have situations
Like what you did with the corner lighting too, where is that the television that's on, right?
Yeah.
And then you're getting the light off the television.
Yeah, and
everybody else. That's
yeah, you got a few different light sources. You have a light coming in from the ceiling here. You got the light from the television, and you got the light from a lamp here. So they're only affecting things that hopefully they would, because the strongest light is going to always. Everything else is the light is not additive, so the strongest light is going to be what's showing. So it cancels out all other weaker lights. So. So yeah, that's what we got. I don't know if we've showed this to the cash grab before, but yeah, you can see the caustics in the bottles down there. So you actually will use it in comic book coloring. Not a lot, but there'll be certain situations. So
nice. Well, I've got some ideas to share here. So caustic light, if you just Google it, right? The definition here on these examples. What did you say?
Go ahead.
So you see caustic lighting in or light projected through a glass with water in it, reflections from an underground reservoir onto the surface of the ceiling of a cave, inside of a pool, Those basic concepts, things that Inkspot's already talked about and the rest of the panel talked about. But here's an example from a fellow comic skater of some caustic light. This is from Ikari Press, Antonio Bryce's brand. So you've got a light source inside of this capsule that's projecting down on the figure. You can see the reflection of the surface of the glass out here, where you're getting a light reflection, but then on the inside the figure is illuminated from the light that's being projected down from up above inside the capsule there. So I thought this was an interesting piece in that it explains this glow and the caustic light from a light source coming from within water projecting outward. I thought that was interesting. And then in Xenotype, she's kicking out of this busted out like telephone booth, and so you can't really see inside of here because obviously the glass is really fractured pretty hard, and there's a reflection on the main surface is preventing you from seeing too far in. And then another piece here, she's inside the glass, and so you can see her black lines are pushed backward, they're screened back, and I do that by using either a very faint light blue overlay layer set in either linear dodge or screen, depending on how intense I want the highlights to be. Linear dodge will give you a much brighter, more washed out look than regular screen mode would, and then you just vary the opacity to let more light pass through or less. And see a similar effect. This glass is all shattered and there's blood splattered because Axel got the shit kicked out of him and he slammed into he got thrown against it. So you can achieve a glass effect by using an overlay on top of the inks set to an opacity of 10% all the way up to like 30 or 40%, depending on how thick the glass is and how much light is there. And then I had this reference. I found this a long time ago. You might come across this if you're going to be painting beach scenes or you're going to be coloring something with ocean water. This guy has a Patreon if you want to check it out. But you see this kind of water in shallow lagoons and things like that at the beach. It's like a light froth that appears as the water breaks on the beach and then recedes back and the new water kind of meets with it. There's this mixing effect that you have. And this technique, I'll make this available. But I would suggest giving this artist credit. Patreon.com/Sesp. I think he's Korean. I don't know. That looks like maybe that's Korean. Check him out. You could probably get this tutorial. It was on the internet, but I've referred to this a few times. But this is a great technique, and as you can see, the reflection of this foam down inside the water here. So there's multiple layers going on, but the way he achieves this effect, this technique is pretty simple to follow. So I'd suggest looking into that. And then also, just to kind of go on the sexy woman front that we were talking about a little while ago, reflections. From caustic light sources onto shiny surfaces, you might come across this as well. You can see specular highlighting, a lot of rim lighting, really bright highlights, things like that. And the interesting thing between mixes of materials, and this is one of the things that I see a lot of colorists do is, and we've said this before in this coloring series, many colorists make every surface in the fucking whole thing look like either glass or metal.
Yeah.
You don't want that. You want skin to feel like skin. You want metal to feel like metal, cloth to feel like cloth, where possible. And obviously, depending on what your style is as a colorist, that's going to be easier to achieve or harder to achieve, depending on what techniques you know and what you use. Here's an example of that. As you can see, these pants are much more reflective. So this, you can imagine being like a really
PVC
almost like a rubbery PVC type of a material, and this is more of a leather type of material. So the leather sheen, yeah, the sheen and the how defined the reflections are. You see these speculars are. You can almost see the box lighting, the box light that's up here on the boom behind. Obviously, this is a rendering, but they're emulating a big box light that the photographer has to light the surface. And then the fill card that they would have, like a white card down in the foreground that's bouncing light up in, that gives you this right here. So, and similar to that, this is the same light with two different surfaces. So I've always liked this this reference. I don't know why. I'm drawn to this reference for some reason. Maybe it's the cylinders. You guys into cylinders?
Yeah.
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 I can see myself in your pants.
Oh my God. Yes. Anyway. So that's caustic lighting from various perspectives. I think that, like I said in the beginning, it's not something you're going to come across a lot, but you can really elevate if the more caustic lighting you use, you can really elevate the realism, but still maintain a comic book feel as long as you use it right. Because you can make something look really bad if you use it wrong.
Dude, how bad did I piss off Sim? He's like muted now. I didn't mean it. I was busting your balls, man.
Come on, I want to finish painting your piece.
He's so fucking pissed right now.
Just stay away from the Meta Barons, brother. That's all.
Meta Barons, yeah, that's like his. That's like your holy grail.
You do not talk shit about the Meta Baron.
Yeah, but he didn't just do the Meta Baron. That's the thing. You just don't know him. And I was talking about Caustic. I was showing you the metal that he rendered and the glass on the helmet.
Yeah, sure. That's what you're showing us.
And the Caustic on the skin that he does. I think it's fucking amazing.
Okay.
But
No, it was awesome art.
I'm sorry, because to me, it's like one of the only other artists that uses the same type of technique or similar rendering as using colors to represent lighting and caustic lighting and stuff like that, like Frazetta, but in a different way. He's the only one that I see those touch of purple, green, and orange the same way, but he doesn't use it the same way. But you have a similar type of finish.
See in spots again. I'm talking about Meta Barons again.
Yeah. You guys just don't like when I'm talking about non-American comics.
I don't care. I love.
I know you don't. I know you don't.
No, I love European comics, dude. They're like way more time spent on them. So
yeah. And one of my favorite painters is Picasso. He's not American.
Picasso's great.
He's not much of a painter either.
Damn.
Too many painters can start their own movement, so I guess he sucks.
Yeah,
I went through my blue period a little while ago. Really? That sounds gross.
Yeah, I think he was part of a money laundering scheme.
No, but Ink Spots, he did perfect the art of showing both the side of the face and the front of the face and on the same figure.
In the same plane, yeah.
And he was one of the only artists with the long enough name that he would make you just want to call him Picasso.
Picasso.
Dude,
well,
and that freaking name of his.
I think he came up with the quote too, if I'm not mistaken. I think it takes two painters to paint a painting. One to paint it and the other one to shoot him in the head when he's done.
Yeah, I'm like 0% into abstract like painting at all. Just like, it looks like you just fucking threw some shit on there.
Well, that's you get into what's his face?
Jackson Pollock.
Pollock. I'm not a Pollock fan either, but
yeah,
you have to like with Picasso in my mind. You have to look. He is all about the evolution of his art. If you look at his early stuff, it's really good. I mean, that's what I was going to say. Traditional, painting and stuff. But then when you could just see him start to break through into something different, and I find that fascinating. Like when someone created something totally new that no one ever did before, that's very rare in art. It's very rare.
Yeah, I think he Picasso did the first one. He's like, what? People actually buy this shit? All right.
You know, when you understand Picasso, he also reminded me of Kirby. Like Kirby's
The
another
guy
one
could
where
the guy never paid for anything. He just drew a sketch real quick and paid for everything. He was
Picasso was the first YouTuber. He's like, wait, if I make a video talking about how Donald Trump's going to lose the election, I'll get 1 million views. Oh my God, I'm going to make a video like that every single day.
Yeah, I just look at his art and I go, throw a 4-year-old a box of crayons. There you go.
You did not see the subtle sophistication.
No, but you're right. His early stuff was, pretty good.
It's different. He's just to break out of the tradition and do something non-traditional is very, very brave and different. And at the time, groundbreaking. I mean, he set the precedent for all commercial art that came after it. Even Andy Warhol, owes something to him. It's just anything with collage and especially using emotion and stuff in your art. He was definitely one of the first guys to really do that.
Bristolian Dave says, at least it's not modern art. I went to a museum over here and there was a stack of bricks. I thought they were doing construction. Turns out it was an actual exhibition. Fuck modern.
Yeah, I mean, I would put Picasso in the start of that, where it's like, and then people are like, if I put a shoestring and a bottle of urine, and then that draws the distinction between feminism and it's bullshit. It's not art.
The point of Picasso, he was fed up of having everybody drawing the same style. That's why I bring it back to Kirby sometimes as an example.
Yes.
Kirby could draw very realistic. He can render.
And Kirby was highly inspired by Picasso.
Yes, he was, and that's why he broke it down into shapes and sinew. And people reacted in the same type of way, because back then people were always drawing the house style. It was always the same type of a skooma or something like that style. And he came in and he goes, fuck this shit. I want more dynamic. I want something that's more expressive. And that's the premise of Picasso, because he went and goes, everybody's painting the same goddamn thing. I need to change it up. So he's technically the guy that, put stylization out.
All right, I'm gonna fix your painting real quick, then, Sim.
Don't do it.
Let's get a little Picasso with it. Be done in 5 minutes.
And that's the thing, though, too, is that art is subjective, and everybody likes their own stuff. And,
yeah, it's true.
I mean, he's one of my favorites. He's not my favorite. He used to be my favorite, but not anymore.
Not one of my favorites.
But
see, and that's the thing.
I studied him in college, so I understand where the dude was coming from.
You don't have to like an artist or his paintings to actually appreciate and respect the work and what he's done.
Yeah,
but see, when I look at art, I geek out on a single line. Like I'll look at just a black and white line art, and I'll see the way somebody just blew out a line on a cape or something. I'll just stare at it, and it's just a single line. The way they broke it and blooped and then made another line, or a series of pullouts, or crosshatches. I'll stare at it. You know what I mean? I'll look at it. The way they blended some color together, and I look at it, I'm like, holy fuck, it's so sophisticated. I can look at individual pieces of art and not like really any of the rest of it, just one little section. Like there's some things in Doom Fate I've looked at where I'm like, the fuck did he do there? That's amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Like, for me, I'm like Frazetta, Bisley, Brahm. Them are the guys that I look up to. So I have a completely different.
But those are guys who would tell you, they looked at Picasso and all those guys for inspiration. They would definitely tell you that. It's just you got to go. We're all artists who are standing on the shoulders of giants, the people who came before us. So Picasso's definitely you can't.
Back then you would get lynch, dude, mob lynch.
I just don't put him in the same category as Da Vinci or something. I don't put him in that.
I think
you do, huh? Wow, I don't.
Wait, Sim, you get mob lynch?
If you put him in a category of an artist who changed the game, Picasso is one of them. Now, is he a master? Well, he's not. It hasn't been hundreds of years yet, but you can't. No art critic or historian will ever say Picasso had no ramifications in art.
He didn't paint the roof of the Sistine Chapel on his fucking back, dripping paint into his eyes.
He did that huge painting in Spain about fascism. It's fantastic. It's huge. It's about the size of a room. Have you seen it? It took him like a year to paint that, and it's a fantastic. It's my favorite painting.
He didn't chisel an incredibly small dong on a massive marble statue with a.
But you got to realize, I'm also the same guy that thinks Banksy is a hack and is not even considered an artist either. So
Banksy's secret has it's a collection of artists. It's not one artist.
What were you saying, Sim? You would
you
get
think
lynched?
it's a multiple?
You would get
huh?
lynched
You don't
if you
think
what?
it's one guy?
Pretty good theories out there that it is.
Oh.
If you
That's
said
cool.
something bad about Picasso, you'd get lynched. Is that what you were
No,
gonna
that's
say?
not what I said. Back then, if you were trying to step out the bounds, trying to do something different, you would be cast out. You would be like ridiculed, shamed.
Right.
How dare you not?
Ding, ding.
reproduce-
And like Fresetta and those guys that you mentioned, Ink, they were outcasts of their time.
Yep.
No one was
Yeah.
doing high fantasy art. No one was doing, they didn't get any really respect till after they were dead. I mean, that's unfortunate. A lot of artists, they don't get much respect till after they're dead.
Yeah, Frazetta is one of the exceptions when you think about it, because he
didn't get Picasso famous, is what
Nope.
I'm saying.
Yep.
He didn't really sell his work either, though. He was one of them guys like, no, I'm keeping my
Yep.
stuff, you know.
And now they go for millions.
They sell like a piece or two a year, but the thing is that those guys were artists. They didn't care, and a lot of them got stuck in doing the work that they had to do. They wanted to be a Picasso, they wanted to be a Da Vinci, but sometimes you got to pay bills, man. So
Yeah.
a lot of crap. I mean, trust me, a lot of Frazetta crap too, because the guy did such a mass amount of work. Not every one of his pictures are good. Neither is Picasso's. Not every one of his pictures are good.
Yeah, I can't wait to get
Sacrilege.
to the point that I can get back to actual painting.
It's true. You only see the good ones. He's done some trash. So I've seen it. It's not a lot of my stuff is not good. I'll admit that. But then I got stuff that's really good, and then I got stuff that's just mediocre. I think every artist is like that.
Me too, yeah. I got piles of stuff that's not good.
Well, I mean, I've done things where I'm looking at it and I'm going, I can't believe I'm doing this. This is so amazing. And I go and have lunch. I come back and this is fucking dog.
I do that all the time. I'll
They
post
start
it and then
over.
like on Twitter an hour later I'll go, no, that's shit, and take it right down. Like
Right.
tons of stuff.
But you take every post you put down.
I know.
When you share art, it's like, guys, check it out because he's gonna delete it.
I purge my timeline too. Yeah, I
put
don't.
stuff up on my Instagram, and I never ever delete it. There's stuff from like 4 years ago on there that's really cringy and shitty. I mean, I know
me
it's real
too.
shitty, and it's real. I did really fast. It was always doing real quick on Twitch and stuff. And I've learned that I've gotten better. But those mostly are all practice pieces. But I scroll through it like once a month to go, okay, look how far I've come, and you see the progression, and I'm getting every better. And then the ones that I pick out in there from a year or two ago, that I'm like, that still looks fucking good. When I say that, I'm like, that still looks good.
Yeah.
I try to remember what I did on that picture so I can keep doing it.
Yeah, it's weird. You can have like you don't know much, but then you still may like in that era of your artistic, whatever growth, you still put out 2 or 3 paintings that are really good and you still like them. So, but they're mostly probably like happy accidents before you kind of figured out exactly what you did in those to make them look like that. Because I'd always have like, I'd be painting, and then I'd do one painting that was like, to me, it was like way above everything else. And then I'd be like, how the heck did I do that? And then like try to break it down so I could do it the next time. So.
Like the Raiden piece I just did, because I looked at all those guys on Fragabooms doing Raiden, and I just I wanted to kick a puppy. So I just, let's see what I can do. I'm like, hey, these guys that did all this, I'm like, I know I can do better than that, and I think I did. So that's where I'm at with my art. It's like, okay. But then I went back and I saw it. I'm like, oh, damn, I should have moved the lightning here and did this, and it would have been more balanced. But, it's done now, but I really like that piece.
Yeah.
It's dynamic and fun, and it's actually shows Raiden shooting lightning like none of the other guys really did. So it's just kind of standing there.
Well, I think we covered the topic. I appreciate everybody coming out today. Let's promote some stuff and bring it home. So, Inkspots, you got some projects going, yeah?
Yeah, today is the last day to back cash grab, and then it's done. You can't get it anymore. So until you can. Anyway, the campaign's closing out. So if you haven't got your copy, go grab that. We're working on Charlie's London's book, which is doing pretty well. So if you go grab a copy of that, if you want, it's really good. The other artists on that project are way better than me. So anyway, grab a copy of that. Then, we got our own projects. Grab Sims, Tales from the Natverse, and remember Inkslayer Studio. We're going to do our magazine, and if you haven't subscribed to Inkslayer over on Twitter and YouTube, go ahead and get that done, man, because we got a lot of fun stuff coming.
Yep.
Nice. And Sim.
Yeah.
So you got a little project
I need to play
going on,
myself too. I'm just joking. Yeah, go check out Tales from the Natverse. We got the Scott, Ink, and Beacon there, the Nat crew on it. So go check it out. When we reach a 10K, I'm gonna give away also that ink spot painting as a little print that's gonna be coming with your book. So you don't want to miss that. And definitely like sub this channel.
Nice.
Go like and sub Beacon's channel. And I don't know if Passion's gonna be doing anything on his channel lately, but go sub to his too. And let's build people's channel here.
Yeah.
And don't forget DAs.
I don't build channels. I come in and destroy them.
I come on
All
and
right.
kill the viewership.
So, Passion, you have a project too?
Yeah,
So I hear.
Doomfage is finishing up. We're literally weeks away. Finishing up the last batch of pages, coloring, and it's if I don't kill myself by then. That's definitely come up. The next book I got coming up is Grave Robbers. That's going to be launching on the 20th. So
Grave Robbers.
It's a horror, classic horror kind of stuff and fantasy, a little fantasy thrown in.
All you need to know is the main character is a cowboy, werewolf, and his name is Big Dick Murphy.
Yeah,
Big Dick Murphy.
That's all you need to know.
yeah.
That's all. Yeah. Why would you need to know anything else?
Yeah.
At all?
If you like westerns and you like horror movies, it's going to be a great book. We're actually finishing up laying out the entire book this week, so that's going to be so quick. So, but Doomface coming. Raging Golden Eagles pages I did for him for his story are done. I don't know where he's at with the rest of the book. From what I understand, he's getting close to being done on that. 2, and definitely check out the Hardline tomorrow night on Monday night on the Diaz Brothers channel. We all hang out there and act stupid and all that kind of stuff. And what else was the other thing? Yeah, I'm going to be having an announcement here in the next couple of weeks. I think everybody's going to be excited about, and a lot of people are going to be involved, and
Nice.
it might do well. So we'll see. We'll see. But Doomfate's coming. There's no caustic lighting in Doomfate. I didn't. I deleted all of it during this stream, and
No, there's no metal. You just
Only
do it all.
cock dick
Everything's rocks
lighting.
now.
That's it. No
Yeah,
caustic, but cock dick lighting. Plenty of it.
cock dick lighting is in there.
There's tons of it in there.
Yeah, there's tons. There is some reflective lighting and all that stuff, but mine's more of a anime kind of feel to it. So that doesn't really do all that well in that. So I'm not as good as Ink Spots and Sim and those guys at the point.
I'm not as good as Ink Spots either.
I've said, the thing I like
faking
about
it.
Passion for Drawing's drawing style is he's got a manga style without trying to be manga.
Yeah, it's a mix
I
of
will-
cartoon and manga. That's what I found. I love it.
I love is your angular, like how your lines, like how you like taper them into each other and stuff. Love that, man.
Oh, thank you. I think sometimes it's trash, but I'm glad someone.
I mean,
Yeah,
your,
I
your,
like
ink,
that style.
your ink rendering could be better, but you know what?
Yeah.
well, I mean,
Yep.
everything could be better. Yeah, I mean, wait till you see Robert.
No, dude. That's the thing is that his line work is made to match with his colors, and I think that
Yeah.
when you see the black and white, like it looks good, right? You're like, I would ink more, I would do more like rendering, but then when he pulls his color in, you're like, okay, no, it's fucking perfect.
Yeah, no, definitely. Your style is very, very open for
You're gonna need to get yourself a really good colorist, dude.
colors and that
Roberts
kind of rendering.
Grave Robbers, we're having Eugene. He colored Magic Cop and a lot of Lost Pages stuff. So,
Nice.
and he's already done a page or two of my stuff, and it looks great. So then I can do more rendering on the inks and things like that because I don't have to think about the colors. I can kind of go and do it. And what I'm already doing with Grave Robbers is a little bit different. It's still my style, but it's going to be a lot more rendered and a lot more because I can take my time on that kind of stuff.
It's one of the reasons
you're not under
so
pressure to get the fucking drawing and inking and coloring done, so you
It's why I'm so excited. It's why I'm so excited about this entire Inkslayer thing. Is like I'm the penciler. I'm gonna render those pencils like a motherfucker. Scotsman's gonna ink them, and then
and then Scotsman's gonna like not render it. Yeah, that don't need that. I'm just fucking ink this shit.
It would be fun to it would be fun to ink other people's stuff. That's always.
I'm gonna, he's gonna be doing ink. He's gonna color all my line.
And we're like,
we're gonna production line everything.
So that's what's going on with me. So please watch Hardline tomorrow night.
Nice.
Yes.
Yep.
Michael Biacon.
All right. Well, I'm working on Tales from the Natverse. I will also be on the hard line. There is also Doodle and Chill tonight.
Yep.
There's the watch along stream on Ace's channel, and Back 7 Legions. It ships out immediately, and the next 8 people to back will be getting a piece of original art from me. So,
Nice. Brilliant. Well, also for me, a little book called Xenotype. Check it out on Indiegogo. A couple hundred pages of bloody battle manga. Story about a boy who transforms into the hero he needs to be to protect the people that he loves from a sinister force of evil monsters that want to eat you, want to eat them. So.
Also, a couple of our friends' books launched. You got Vinny's Pirate book that came out, and also Carlo's Witch Hunter book that came out.
Yes. This book is the mailing list.
And Mothman too.
And Mothman, yes.
Yep.
Yeah, check those out. A lot of good stuff going on in Comicsgate right now. A lot of brilliant projects, a lot of amazing artists. We are the comic book industry, whether they want to say it or not. We are what's happening in the realm of comics. The rest of it is pure shit.
We are the caustic lighting of comics.
I am the cock dick lighter of comics.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you guys for tuning in today. We're gonna have another show next Sunday. We're wrapping up this coloring series. I'm literally gonna be scraping for topics until the final show, which is probably gonna be lucky number 13, or maybe we can stretch it out another couple. But I'm gonna talk amongst the boys here and see what things we haven't covered yet, and then we'll put together a show on what's left. So thank you very much for hanging out today. Appreciate all of you. Have a great Sunday, and we'll be back next week.
Later, everybody.